Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing because it really helps my channel. Also, don't forget the notification bell. Thanks. Hi guys, theory time. I have mentioned, of course, in the title that I think Cosmere's Endgame is Endgame. And today, I'm gonna tell you why. Let's start with the basics. Okay, so we've seen the World Hoppers. We've seen Immortals due to time dilation, others being actively immortal. We've seen our friend Hoyd trying to recruit Shards, and we've seen Hoyd everywhere. And I think Hoyd is planning to bring Alcium back together, or he's being forced to do it by some kind of compulsion. The biggest reasons I think that the Cosmere's Endgame is Endgame and that Hoyd's planning to bring Alcium back is because of some stuff that have been mentioned in the books. One of the most important things, or important people, are the Iriali. We know they are on Roshar at the moment, and that they call it the Fourth Land, implying, of course, they have already been on other lands. We know they've been on Skadril, and we know they've been on Tress's land, you know, from Secret Project 1. The problem is, we don't know if Tress happens after or before Stormlight, so we might already know 3 of the 4 lands. There's a possibility we only know 2 of the 4 lands. But that's beside the question, because the most important part of the Iriali people is, of course, their religion. Our friend Sazed, aka Harmony, who will come into play a bit later, has collected religions, and their religion is about the One. And One is this god that shatters himself because he believes that's because he is the epitome of balance. And when you are the epitome of balance, you don't experience, or you are incapable of experiencing extremes. So, in that case, he shattered himself in order to feel the full experience of everything possible. And then when he comes back together, after experiencing everything that is possible to experience, he becomes, of course, again, the same God, the One, but now he has experienced it all, and while he still represents balance, he now is a better and more intelligent and more experienced God, because he now knows what happens, so he can sympathize with all of the people and all of their emotions, because he has experienced them all, something which he was incapable of doing before. I think that religion has been explained on purpose, because let's face it, it really reminds you of someone else does it now. Why do I think the shattering was on purpose? We see in Mistborn Era 1 that Preservation saw Ruin's plan coming over 3,000 years in advance and set things in motion to defeat Ruin and to become Harmony. We have also seen that Cultivation put stuff in motion decades before Stormlight in order to make Taravingian pick up the Shard of Odium. And they are only shards. And you're not telling me that a shard can see stuff coming, while the actual god cannot. I believe he saw his shattering coming and that he let it happen on purpose, using it to his advantage and setting stuff in motion himself. Some of his servants are knowing of what they're doing, or in the know, while some are unknowing. And I believe that there are some very important servants, some lesser important servants. I think Kelsier is very important, in the sense that I think Alcium put a bit of himself in Kelsier, considering Kelsier is always surviving. And I think there is a reason that Kelsier's only plan is survive. Survive, survive, survive. Why? Might be the vessel for Adnalcium. That's one possibility. I think he has to survive to the end, and it's been planned for over 10,000 years, but he's only one, because it might also explain Hoid's hatred of Cosmere. Hoid wants to bring him back together, him being Adnalcium, but once he sees Cosmere, he immediately feels that it won't be him. Even after all his years of work, it'll be some lowly human scumbag confronting him with his failure and his regrets, because we all know Hoid was a part of the Shattering. Brandon has also mentioned a shard with the intent of survival, which matches Cosmere, but it also matches Hoid, and I think Hoid is... I don't know if he's the vessel. He might have been the vessel in the past. He might... depending on how much time that passes between, because Brandon said there is only one and he wants to hide and survive. No, there is one who only wants to hide and survive, is what he literally noted. And Hoid is purposely always hiding his appearance. He has disguises and a light weaving, and, important, he is able to hide from Harmony when he's on Scadrial. Something that should be impossible. So I think while Hoid may have the survival shard, or have had it, Cosmere personifies the word survive. It might be a command as well. It might be Dawn Shard. Who knows? So now that we have these basic facts, why do I actually think the Endgame is Endgame? There's most likely an overlapping villain. This might be Odium with Taravingian as a vessel, because he's been projected as being very dangerous. Sazed, or Harmony, literally says, in truth, it will be a combination of a vessel's craftiness and the power's intent we should fear most. In his letter to Hoid, I think that was in Stormlight 3 or 4, it was an Oathbringer or a Rhythm of War, can't remember exactly. To me, this implies that Todium, as I call him or refer to him, is the most dangerous villain we'll see, or we have seen. So he'll be beaten only temporarily in Stormlight Archive, at least in the first arc. It might also be an entity that is bigger than Todium. For example, for instance, we have Dalinar. He says that I am unity in his battle with Odium at the end of Oathbringer, and he might unite the three shards, you know, honor, cultivation, and passion, I think, or just let's call it Odium for now. And I think he also hears the word unite them, and we first thought it was about, you know, Alethkar or the warlords. Now I think it's about the shards. Considering Dalinar is a warlord, unite them might also mean conquering them, conquering all of the shards. Of course, we know some shards that have been shattered, Dominion and Devotion, for example. But yeah, a warlord conquering all of the Cosmere is not a good thing. Then we have the weird stuff with Hebalurgy happening on Scadrial that's scaring the other shards in such a way that they have locked it off, as we've seen at the end of Era 2, or at the end of now, at the Era 2. So that will also play a part. Through some novels and words of Brandon, like Sixth of Dusk, for example, we've also learned that by the time of the Endgame, so Mistborn Era 4, Roshar and Scadrial will be in some kind of Cold War / arms race to control planets, or to control other planets, and the Cosmere as a whole. This is why I think that in the final few Cosmere books, in about 20 years, we'll see Hoid having recruited a lot of our main characters, you know, the Shards, the Dawn Shards, and other people, and side characters with big strength. For example, Cosmere, Sigzil, as we have now known, he's a Dawn Shard, hello. Trying to reunite Adnalcium against the wishes of one or more of the shards. We have unity, as I said, we have Odium, but also autonomy will probably play a big part in this. And I think Hoyd will infuse some of the characters with Dawn Shards, as he has done with Sigzil, apparently. While others, like Kelsier, like Leslie Borns, we all know he's still alive, will be powerful enough in their own right. You know, we have seen that some people are actively, well, de facto immortal is this big word, but that they can time travel due to time dilation. We've seen that in Secret Project 3 as well now, with Hoyd in Design's shop. We've seen that with Kelsier. We've seen that with a lot of other people. And at the end of the last trilogy, there will be one big fight, and it might not be this Avengers-style team-up, but it will most likely be a battle involving a lot of characters we already know, or at least that we already know of. For example, we also have Risen, who's a Dawn Shard, or who's the holder of Dawn Shard. She might come into play as well. We have Marsh, of course, too. There are dozens of people that could be able to play a part. We have Chris as well. We have Vasher, who's essentially immortal. And Brandon has confirmed somewhere during some kind of conference or party, you know, where he answers questions, in the words of Brandon, that there will be individual characters coming together. And for the Endgame, you know, for the last trilogy, we will have to know all 8 of the magic systems, or we will go crazy or just not know what is going on. The reason I say his Endgame is that he might have already said time travel is impossible. Time travel backwards might be impossible. But he has mentioned time dilation is possible, so we might know, or we might have missed a lot of stuff that happened off screen that our dear friend Hoyd has done. Or one of his apprentices, as apparently he has 3. So, more people that we know of will probably have survived until now. We also get implied that our friend Kaladin is still alive as well in Secret Project 4, and that's in the distant future, depending on how the perspective is. He also said there won't be an Avengers-style team-up. I mean, I get it, but I don't quite believe him. Of course, I'm not calling him a liar, because let's face it, Brandon is a great guy. Why would he spoil his life's work? I think he's lying. I'm not calling him a liar, but I think he's purposefully withholding information and misleading us. Let's put it that way. There is, of course, another option in which Dalinar is actually the good guy instead of the bad guy, and Sazed becomes the bad guy. For now he is Harmony, but it has been alluded to that he can become Discord, and we've seen in Era 2 and in Stormlight that he has been having difficulty to keep the powers inside of him at bay. So yeah, I think it's either that or Dalinar will seek to unite the Shards and Sazed will oppose him. Most importantly, I think we know that Hoyd will have a great part in this. We know that Dalinar will have a big part in this. We'll see how it goes. I would love you guys to post some theories. I'd love to hear comments. Why I'm wrong, why I'm right. Sources, why I'm wrong, why I'm right. Go for it, guys. Really. I'm not kidding. And if I change my theory, or if you guys really post some convincing arguments, I will make a new video and I will, of course, include your insights. But for now, my mission's been accomplished. See you next time, guys.